56 of the fastest Gran Turismo gamers are in Abu Dhabi at GT Academy racecamp, battling for the prize of a pro racing contract. The gamers must be able to show the judges their racing ability and develop their racecraft skills over the duration of the competition.
When a gamer makes the jump from virtual to reality, there's a number of issues that need to be dealt with, that need to be solved, and racecraft, consistency, the ability to overtake safely and quickly, yet put in good lap times is very important.
You need to learn with every single move and every single lap what you do. You need to be getting better every single minute, because in the end the champion is the one who is the whole package. We call it in Czech Republic the cherry on the cake. The day when you go sit in the car and show the potential what you have and the racecraft what you had.
Before the gamers are able to take part in any on-track action, they must first pass an Association of Racing Drivers Schools test.
This morning they're doing the ARD test, which is a mandatory requirement to get an MSA, British National B race licence.
It's so important because every racing driver has to do it, you know, even Lewis Hamilton and also all of us GT Academy, we have to go through it.
There's no exceptions. Every single person that wants to race, that has a licence, has to take the ARDS test. There's a written multiple choice test that covers the basics of safety, flag signals, which is the fundamental for going racing. So they have to get everything right, they have to pass, and if they don't, they will simply be eliminated from the competition at this stage.
After the written test, the gamers must also complete a practical exam with instructors from the Yas Marina circuit. This involves 15 minutes of instruction, followed by a 4-lap examination around the Yas circuit, where the instructors will judge their driving abilities.
We marked if they are capable to drive, techniques of changing gears, up gears, shifting down, to see the corners and where they're aiming to go, how smooth they are when they enter into the corner and how smooth to go to the exit point, how they're going to react in case they had oversteer or understeer. Racing line, which is very important also to know about it. We just observe what they do exactly.
It's definitely more nerve-wracking knowing that obviously it's an exam situation. The pressure is there and you just don't want to mess up, but thankfully no gears were missed and I didn't fluff anything up, so it was all good.
I think the test went pretty good. I was a bit nervous, but I just tried to do my best.
I think I've passed the test. I really want to go on track now and try to be as quick as I can and show everyone my potential.
The progress of the guys from what I had from the instructors, they were all quite good and they all passed, so I'm a happy team leader.
With all the contestants now able to get racing on the track, the coaches and mentors get straight to work on improving their driving skills.
You're not actually braking in a straight line here, are you? Because you're having to start slowing the car down. If you were to wait until you're in a straight line, you'd go off.
Racecraft is something you've developed, but some people start with a better base level than others. They're looking back at the greats of motor racing, Gilles Villeneuve, Ayrton Senna. Yeah, they had better racecraft than most, and that was probably a God-given ability, but it's something that our drivers can develop for sure.
I've never driven a car on a racetrack, so it's going to be a bit of an experience for me alone, but I just want to progress because I've got a massive learning curve ahead.
GN, pick off the brakes a bit, turn, bit of power straight away a little bit now, down my way, a little bit of power's good.
Very important driver training because they need to familiarise themselves with the circuits, and also the instructors are working very much with their technique to make them better drivers.
Frenchman Romain Sarrazin is in the car. During his first set of timed runs, he recorded a 1:21 lap.
The first run out that we do with them is really sort of finding their feet, getting used to the track, so we don't encourage them to go quickly. We just drive around relatively slowly, let them see the track, get a feel for the car. We didn't have 2 quicker runs, and we do hope then, and we have so far always seen an improvement between those 2 runs, which is obviously a good thing.
Nice run, that was better.
Okay, thank you. A good lap time here around the Southern Circuit is around about 1:17, and we're seeing drivers improving by upwards of 8 seconds, so we're working hard to find them as much time as possible, so yeah, huge gains.
After taking the advice of the coaches, Romain is able to drastically improve his lap time.
My improve was really good, I think. I earned 3 seconds, so I'm happy with how I have done.
Alongside practical sessions, head judge Rob Barth advises the drivers on where and how to overtake on the tricky Yas Marina circuit.
A successful overtaking manoeuvre normally takes place at the end of this long, curving left-hand straight, but only after getting a good exit off the corner. If you screw up the second part by going into the first part too fast, that will cost you, and you're going to run the risk of being overtaken. I always make a point of reiterating the obvious to the gamers in terms of racecraft, overtaking and procedure, because this is something that's very new to them. You take far more risks in the virtual world than in the real world, so it's a question of just alluding to them what might happen and how they can avoid that happening in the first place. We don't want to see amateur carnage and bumper cars. I will tell you this now, if you crash in the final driving challenge, you will not win GT Academy. It's just highlighting what has gone on before so that they can then avoid making the same mistakes. I can't stop them making the same mistakes, but because I've covered those bases, they should have that little seed of awareness now, which perhaps they wouldn't have done before.
Only the 7 gamers who make it to the final will get the chance to race wheel to wheel on the Yas Marina circuit. But in order to get there, they must show the mentors their ability to overtake in a 1.5-hour endurance go-kart race.
Karting is the purest form of wheel-to-wheel combat in terms of race cars. All the karts are completely equal, and we'll see the drivers make mistakes, and we'll see how that costs them in terms of position on track and being overtaken. We can get a feel for their ability of racecraft and how they proactively overtake. So it's really useful at this stage of the program.
Karting is like the basics of racing, because here you learn the lines, the balance of the car, and also, of course, now we have a 1.5-hour endurance race. It's all about the overtaking, to be smart at the right moment, at the right time, at the right place. I want to see that they are smart, they're on spot on the right time, do the right lines, and of course, if they are in good condition, because it's 42 degrees outside.
The 3 gamers left from each region will spend 30 minutes behind the wheel. Not only do they have the chance to impress their mentors, but they also size up the competition from other nations too.
The vast majority of racing drivers start their career in karts, and the racecraft that they've developed as kids takes them throughout their career all the way to Formula 1, so racecraft is going to be hugely important. You know, it's a 1.5-hour enduro, so there's going to be lots of overtaking, lots of wheel-to-wheel battles going on, so yeah, it's going to be very telling for us as their mentors.
It's where it starts, and it's where you learn your racecraft, and my racecrafts haven't changed since I was 10 years old in karting, even when I got to F1.
I started when I was 6 years old in go-karting. It's a good school for the drivers. Here you see who's got this extra talent, the guys who step from this to any other category, and they remain good.
All of the karts have onboard timing systems, so we'll be getting real-time data fed back to the screens in race control. So we'll actually be able to say who's got the genuine raw speed, which is ultimately, at this stage, what we're looking for.
After 10 laps, Benelux overtake Germany for the lead. Most of the other nations are showing good racecraft as they battle for the podium. However, the UK team are already a lap down.
We're struggling, to be honest with you. We have one guy who's done a lot of karting, who's fairly strong. One guy's average and one guy's who's losing us about 4 seconds lap at the moment.
The boys are really consistent. I got lucky with 2 especially quick boys that I saw. Consistent, nice, easy.
The final round of driver changes takes place, with Germany trying to close the gap on Benelux and Iberia holding on to 3rd. The mentors are learning a lot about their gamers.
So what we're looking for here is an aptitude for racecraft. Who looks aggressive, who's willing to make those moves and push the position, how much they really want to stay in the competition. On the sims, these guys can be very good. But what you haven't got is fear. There's no fear factor there. So you can go for a lunge from wherever. The worst you're going to do is ruin your lap time, really, and bounce off a car or a wall and carry on, or at very worst, you press the reset button. But here, they're terrified to even make a move. Others, on the other hand, don't seem to understand the difference and go for it, hit another car, and that's it. They've just lost half a lap or a lap, learning the hard way, so to speak.
Benelux take the checkered flag by over 20 seconds from Germany, with Iberia a lap down in 3rd.
Team Benelux were very dominant here. After about 10 laps they got into the lead, then they just managed to maintain that to the end.
We won the race. I overtaked a few people, so it was very fun. Overtaking is completely different between the real world and a video game.
I think my karting session was not too bad. Qualified first, won the start, but then the orange team was so much faster in the first few rounds. I know I will lose a lot of time if I don't let him pass, so I just back a little off and try to follow him. I think it was better for the rest of the race.
You can definitely see their racecrafts. I think they all did an overtake bar one. Yeah, I can now see their driving techniques, and I can definitely see now who our sort of strongest is, and it's not who I thought it was.
Obviously from watching we could see who had the racecraft, who had the style. We'll now start analysing the lap sheets and we'll see who was the weakest link.
As the competition progresses, the mentors are now building a picture of who the strongest racers in the competition are and who would go on to race in the final. Join us next week as we look at what training the drivers go through and how their rate of improvement can help the judges make this important decision.